Right, it's not the most iconic setup. God. Just been a bit under it this week. Had a tooth pulled out. So I'm a bit spun out on painkillers. But yeah, it's meant that I messed up on my video creation this week. I kind of like didn't get round to filming a proper session. This is just a bit of a clip review, I guess. It's funny what a difference a couple of positive sessions can have. You know, I've moaned and whinged a lot recently about losing some tricks and struggling with others, and I guess just in the past couple of weeks, you know, I've actually had some kind of either breakthroughs or just getting a good rhythm going on sessions. I want to say thanks to everyone for the support you give whenever I release a video. I love the chat in the comments. You know, when I've done something good and that I'm proud of, I appreciate that people get behind me. And equally, you know, when I'm struggling a bit, I do appreciate the sort of the tips and the pointers and the general kind of like, you know, I'm gonna hear just keep going, trust the process. I'm gonna hear that a lot, so I'm comfortable with that. Right, okay, what clips have we got that we want to look at? Oh, let's go in sort of chronological order. So it was nice weather, I had a bit of time, so I went to Telegraph Hill. There's a thing that I've always wondered about but never really thought about, and that's power ollies. Power ollies, where you lock in on a curb or a ledge and you ollie out of it. I mean, you'll see what I mean in the clips. I thought I understood what you have to do. You have to let the front nose of the board drop a little bit and then use the space that you create on the tail to sort of pop the ollie a little bit and then front foot it out and up and down. Found it difficult to shift my weight forward to free up the tail until I actually just sort of like tried doing it without the board, which helped a lot. As I did kind of get my head around that, I thought I was feeling it and I thought I was kind of getting it right, so I thought I'd try it on a slightly bigger drop. I definitely felt like I was comfortably clearing the edge of the ledge enough, but then when I went back and kind of looked at how people say to do it and seeing people doing it, I realised that I probably wasn't dipping the front foot enough and I probably had my front foot too high. So I'll come back to that, but it was really interesting just spending like half an hour of a session doing something that feels quite sort of simple. It's almost like a nothing trick, but maybe it leads to stuff. Being able to drop in from a curb or from a ledge on top of a bank, you know, where you sort of, yeah, you get the idea. So that was that, a nothing thing, but I felt kind of positive about that. I felt good about spending some time on something small. What is the next clip? Got a lovely session with my brother at Telegraph Hill. I I don't know what it is about skating with my brother. I find it quite calming, warming up really nicely, or like not even noticing that I've warmed up and that I'm feeling good about trying stuff. And so I start trying things with a bit more aggression, a little bit more confidently. And so we were sessioning we started out sessioning the mini ramp. My rock and rolls have been a real like mess with my head thing recently. I swear to God, no one believes me, but I had them on lock, I could do them on anything, and I wasn't scared to try them on anything, and then suddenly they were gone. I'm back into a phase of kind of like feeling like, yeah, okay, I know I can do that, I'll have a go, and then it taking a couple for me to get the head turn locked in and make it. So Telegraph Hill's been good for that. Front side kick turn doesn't look like much, but it's always like, you know, a little thing that I forget to try at the end of a run, and if I think about it, I'm actually kind of like more confident at those than I was. We then started sessioning another little section of the park, the bit that I like, which is the kind of bowled out section that's got a nice little run in. A few videos ago, I was pushing down into the bowl, pumping the corner, and then coming up and turning on the bank, doing a rock and roll on the quarter. And I said in that video, I'd really like to try and start hitting the coping on the corner, pumping around the corner. And it was just like a mad session where, first of all, Max just hit it really comfortably. And I was like, okay, all right, I'll have a go. And within a couple of tries,
oh yeah, that was nice. Finished the run.
it was really like, wow, I can do this. And I'd achieved like a little challenge I'd set myself, probably sooner than I'd expected. So that came really nicely. I need to work on what I do for the rest of that, because I think I could probably do a couple of tricks through there. I couldn't do a rock to fakie on that quarter. I tried. Oh, and something else happened on that session, but it's not on tape. But I'd said before, when I introduced the park ages ago, there's a quarter pipe built into a bank. One of those cool things which I've yet to hit. I really like to have a go at one of those. I conquered that. I saw a guy the other week who was doing it. He was regular footed, so he came up backside against it, had to push uphill, but he just went fast, and I was like, okay, I can go fast. Slashed it. Didn't get it on tape though, which is, you know, you'll just have to trust me. Then there was barking. I hate clips from barking. I think they look really sad. Like, it's just a visual thing. I might even show these in black and white. The colour of the place annoys me. That's got nothing to do with skate. Anyway, I was so hyped the other week to ollie off a curb, and I don't know, you might recall from one of my old videos. We'll say one of three, into a bank, out of a bank, over a cone. Tick one of those off before end of March. So I tried the cone, I haven't been back to the cone. And then the other week I got ollieing off a curb. It started to make sense. And the other one is ollieing into a bank. And for some reason, that was way scarier or way harder to get the timing right on. I sent a few. Look closely at the clips and you'll see that I do actually manage to ollie like into the bank, but they're little. But now I kind of like know maybe I can go back again when it's quiet, and I can try that again. So that gave me a good heap of confidence. I thought I'd have a go at the bonk up and manual pad. Caveman's looking a little bit weak at the moment off something, but it's getting better. And then we just messed about in the bowl, and like I don't really know how to pump the bowl, but Max is kind of progressing with that a little bit more. But just with that like wave of confidence, I was like, do you know what? I think I can pump really high up the end of these stupid challenges. You'll find this. I don't know, maybe you do find this, maybe you don't, but just like pumping higher on a transition becomes a little challenge. And I pumped as high as I could on what I think is about an 8 or 9 foot transition. It pretty much goes to vert at the end. I mean, bless Max, he dropped in for the first time on the high part of the bowl. Yes, bro! And then feeling that, there's another sort of 6 foot quarter pipe that I had the confidence to then pump higher on. I thought I was slashing. I think in hindsight I was probably getting my wheel onto the copings, feeling that resistance, but not actually slashing. But legitimately, that's the highest I've ever been on that ramp. So for some people, skating is like a mental health. You know, focus on that. Don't worry about everything else. Don't worry about your tooth being pulled out or like stresses you're having over money or whatever. You just go out and skate. And when you're learning, that can be difficult because you are constantly like trying to overcome a skill deficit, like tricks that you want to do but you can't do. You do sometimes get a session where you do what you can do. You feel that flow state. I mean, you're not doing backside disasters and you're not doing like funky double tap rock fakies. You're doing what you can do, but you can feel that it's flowing and you're connecting like 1 or 2 tricks together, and maybe there's kick turns in between, but that's all right because that's what your skill set is, and you're getting a chance to actually enjoy skating, and you can't always predict it. But this week I had that. Wow. Look, thanks for bearing with me on this week's video. I don't know whether I ask on here, but like I want to do a few videos that are sort of like have a focus and a kind of like an idea to them. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. I know that there's a couple of people follow me who are, you know, over 40, want to start skating, struggling a bit with the basics, and I'd love to do a kind of like a video from my perspective of like the real basic, tic-tacking, rolling fakie down a bank, whatever. So that might not be interesting for everyone, but I think I'd like to do that if I can make it interesting. I'd like to do one about just skating on the street. That's really helpful in terms of board control, but can be very daunting. And I mean, especially when you're an older bloke, you're also quite self-conscious of that. So yeah, I might look at doing a video about that as well. And I need to do something about shove-its. So there's definitely a video in the works somewhere of me just spending an hour trying to do shove-its. It's not going to be today. Anyway, yeah, like and subscribe, all that great stuff. I'm in a car park again.